One morning, while preparing for a scene, Sufan noticed Lu Ting watching him from across the set. Lu Ting's eyes were soft, a stark contrast to his usual stoic appearance. When their eyes met, Lu Ting offered a small, almost imperceptible nod, a private acknowledgement that sent a thrill through Sufan. During a break, Sufan sat alone, running lines in his head. He felt a presence beside him and looked up to see Lu Ting holding 2 bottles of chilled water. "Thought you might need to stay hydrated," Lu Ting said, handing a bottle to Sufan. Sufan's heart warmed at the gesture. "Thanks, Lu Ting. You always seem to know what I need." Lu Ting sat beside him, their shoulders brushing. "It's not hard to figure out. I've become quite attuned to you," he replied with a soft smile. They sipped their water in companionable silence, enjoying the simple pleasure of being near each other. Sufan glanced at Lu Ting, admiring his profile. "You know, I never imagined being here with you like this. It feels like a dream." Lu Ting turned to him, his gaze tender. "It's our little secret dream, and I cherish every moment of it." The days on set were long and demanding, but their shared glances and quiet exchanges made every challenge bearable. They found joy in the smallest things, a shared joke, a knowing look, a quick hand squeeze when no one was watching. One evening, while filming a particularly emotional scene, Sufan struggled to get into the right mindset. Sensing his frustration, Lu Ting approached him discreetly. "Hey, just relax. You've got this," Lu Ting whispered, his hand briefly touching Sufan's back. Sufan looked into Lu Ting's eyes and felt a wave of calm wash over him. "Thanks. I needed that." As the director called for action, Sufan delivered his lines with newfound conviction, earning him praise from the crew. Lu Ting watched from the sidelines, his eyes filled with pride. After the day's shoot, Sufan and Lu Ting walked back to their trailers side by side under the starry sky. "You were amazing today," Lu Ting said, bumping his shoulder against Sufan's playfully. Sufan laughed, feeling light and happy. "Only because I had the best support." They reached their trailers, and Lu Ting hesitated before speaking. "Sufan, would you like to come over to my place tonight? We could watch a movie or something." The invitation sent a surge of excitement through Sufan. "I'd love to." Later that night, in the privacy of Lu Ting's home, they sat close on the couch, a movie playing on the screen. But neither paid much attention to it. Instead, they were lost in their little world, fingers entwined, hearts beating in sync. Lu Ting turned to Sufan, his expression serious. "Sufan, I want you to know something. I've never felt this way about anyone before. You've brought something special into my life." Sufan's eyes shone with emotion. "Lu Ting, I feel the same. You've changed my world in the best possible way." They leaned in, their lips meeting in a sweet, lingering kiss. It was a kiss that sealed their feelings, a promise of more beautiful moments to come. In the following weeks, their relationship deepened. They stole moments whenever they could, quick lunches between shoots, walks around the set, and quiet evenings together. They were careful to keep their romance a secret, but the thrill of their clandestine meetings only added to the sweetness. One day, while rehearsing a scene, Lu Ting suddenly improvised, pulling Sufan into an unexpected embrace as part of his character's action. The crew applauded the believable performance, unaware of the genuine emotion behind it. After the scene, Sufan whispered to Lu Ting, "You're full of surprises." Lu Ting grinned, "Only for you." As their relationship blossomed, Sufan and Lu Ting continued to navigate the complex dynamics of their secret romance amidst the glaring spotlight of the entertainment industry. Lu Ting, ever the thoughtful partner, often found ways to surprise Sufan, adding sparks of joy to their already sweet relationship. One afternoon, after a particularly demanding shoot, Sufan returned to his trailer, exhausted. As he opened the door, his tired eyes widened in surprise. Inside, the small space was transformed into a cozy nook, adorned with soft lighting and his favorite snacks. Sitting in the middle of it all was Lu Ting, wearing a gentle smile. "Thought you could use a little comfort after today," Lu Ting said, standing up to greet him. Sufan's heart swelled at the gesture. Lu Ting, you did all this for me? Lu Ting nodded, pulling Sufan into a warm embrace. Anything to see you smile. Their evening was spent in laughter and heartfelt conversations, a much-needed respite from their demanding schedules. As they sat close, Sufan couldn't help but feel a sense of completeness. With Lu Ting, he felt truly himself. However, beneath the surface of their idyllic moments, a subtle undercurrent of tension began to brew. One night, as they lay together, Sufan brought up a topic that had been weighing on his mind. Lu Ting, have you ever thought about us out in the open? I mean, not hiding? Lu Ting stiffened slightly, his expression turning pensive. Sufan, you know how the industry is. I worry about how it would affect you, the scrutiny, the judgments. Sufan sensed a hesitation in Lu Ting's voice. But don't you think it's worth it? To be open about us? Lu Ting sighed, a hint of distress in his eyes. It's not that simple. I need to protect you, and right now, this is the best way. Sufan felt a twinge of disappointment. While he understood Lu Ting's concerns, part of him couldn't help but feel like their relationship was being sidelined. It was a small seed of doubt, but it was there, planted in the back of his mind. As days turned into weeks, this unaddressed issue began to cast a shadow over their otherwise blissful relationship. Sufan found himself increasingly troubled by the thought that perhaps he wasn't as important to Lu Ting as he had hoped. Their conversations started to feel strained, with both of them tiptoeing around the subject that lay heavily between them. The once easy and light-hearted banter was now replaced with cautious words and guarded expressions. One evening, at a high-profile industry event, Sufan watched as Lu Ting mingled with the who's who of the entertainment world. From afar, he observed the ease with which Lu Ting interacted with others, his charming persona on full display. A pang of insecurity hit Sufan. He felt out of place, a mere observer in Lu Ting's glamorous world. As Lu Ting returned to his side, Sufan forced a smile. "You're really in your element here," he said, trying to keep his voice light. Lu Ting, sensing something amiss, looked at him with concern. "Sufan, is everything okay?" Sufan hesitated, then shook his head slightly. "It's nothing. Just tired, I guess." Lu Ting reached out, touching Sufan's arm gently. "If there's ever anything, you know you can talk to me, right?" Sufan nodded, but the growing seed of doubt kept him from voicing his true feelings. He couldn't shake off the feeling that maybe, just maybe, he wasn't as significant in Lu Ting's life as he had hoped. The delicate fabric of Sufan and Lu Ting's relationship, once imbued with sweetness and affection, began to fray under the weight of unspoken fears and insecurities. Sensing the growing distance, Lu Ting redoubled his efforts to rekindle their bond. He surprised Sufan with his favorite flowers and thoughtful gifts, hoping to lighten the mood that had grown heavy between them. One evening, Lu Ting arrived at Sufan's apartment, arms laden with blooms and a special gift. Sufan's eyes brightened at the sight, a fleeting reminder of their happier times. "These are beautiful, Lu Ting," Sufan murmured, touched by the gesture. "I just want to see you smile again," Lu Ting replied, his voice laden with unspoken emotion as he wrapped Sufan in a warm embrace. For a fleeting moment, their troubles seemed to dissolve. However, the unresolved issues lingered like a shadow, an invisible wedge driven subtly between them. Complications arose with the increasing presence of Lu Ting's male manager, Leo. Known for his close professional relationship with Lu Ting, Leo's frequent interactions with Lu Ting began to stir a cauldron of jealousy and suspicion within Sufan. One afternoon, Sufan inadvertently overheard a conversation between Lu Ting and Leo. The words were unclear, but phrases like "keeping it under wraps" and "not the right time" reached Sufan's ears. His heart pounded with misgivings, and the seed of doubt quickly blossomed into a thorny vine of jealousy. Confronting Lu Ting later, Sufan's voice quivered with a cocktail of anger and hurt. "Are you just toying with me? Is he the one you truly care about?" Lu Ting, taken aback and bewildered, responded, "What? No, Sufan. He's just my manager." But Sufan's heart was clouded with doubt. "I heard you two. You're keeping us hidden because there is no us to begin with, right? It's him, isn't it?" Lu Ting's attempts to clarify were met with a cold barrier of skepticism. Sufan, engulfed in feelings of betrayal, withdrew into a shell of hurt and misunderstanding. The rift between them deepened, turning warm conversations into exchanges as cold as ice. Sufan retreated further into his shell, his heart heavy with perceived betrayal and sorrow. On a rainy night, Sufan was walking alone, lost in a sea of troubled thoughts. The path of their love, once clear and bright, was now obscured by clouds of doubt and pain. In the distance, dark clouds mirrored the turmoil in Sufan's heart. As he absent-mindedly stepped off the curb, a pair of headlights raced towards him. The sound of screeching tires pierced the night, marking a frozen moment that foreshadowed the impending storm about to upheave their lives.